Hello everyone, it's Stipe here, the coach of the Helsinki High Jump Kicks, and it's the second week of RBL Ready Battle League, and we are going to face Albrey, who is the coach of the Pittsburgh Sphealers. Albrey got a 4-0 loss from week 1, and we are at, we got a 3-0 loss, so that's definitely an important battle to kinda see who of us can get that important victory, get back to business, I guess, and of course the loser will have hard time, uh, or at least harder time trying to bounce back in the future. However, I won't be too concerned if I lose because, like, I've faced the top 2 teams from the Blondie to power rankings, so I've had a look at my future matchups, and I have noticed that if I lose now, it's not super big of a deal. I have a good chance to bounce back even if I get to 0-2, but obviously I'm gonna do everything I can so that it would not happen. So let's first of all have a look at our both of our rosters. So I have Muse, Calm, Azumarill, Houndoom, Mega Houndoom, Tangrowth, Dragalge, Dugtrio, Breviary, Ninetales, Rotom, Maractus, and Hitmonlee. And Albrey has Clefable, Kyurem-B, Infernape, Mega Blastoise, Scolipede, Mesprit, Registeel, Cinccino, Dusclops, Levany, Murkrow, and Jolteon. So as you can see, there's a lot of annoying, a lot of very strong mons, a lot of options, a lot of very bulky mons, and there's a Levany which is sniped from me 2 picks before I was going to get it, but that happens. And okay, so what I'm expecting, I'm pretty sure he's gonna bring Clefable. I'm not exactly sure what kind of Clefable, but I feel that against my team, he hasn't really any reason not to bring it. Kyurem Black definitely puts in a lot of work. I don't know about the Infernape, to be honest. He could bring Infernape, but I feel that Infernape can't really touch Azu. It can't really touch Dragalge. But unless it has some specific coverage, but I don't. He might bring Infernape, but I kind of have a feeling that he doesn't. Mega Blastoise I'm definitely expecting, though it has a big problem because if it carries Rapid Spin, it will always have a lack of coverage against some of my mons. I'll come to that later probably. And Scolipede, well, I have one of the best checks to Scolipede in the game, which is Skarmory, so I don't really expect him to bring it, but he might bring maybe Hazards or Speed Pass. I could see that. Mesprit, definitely I'm expecting to see some kind of offensive Mesprit. Mesprit is I'm expecting an offensive Mesprit because it just has such a great coverage. So I'm expecting him to bring some kind of an offensive Mesprit to have the right coverage to do some holes to my team. Registeel I wasn't originally expecting, but then Patrick made a nice observation that it's actually the only thing in his team that can take a Bandit Azu on if it is carrying knockoff over superpower. Uh, but then again, if I carry superpower, it is still easy to hit KO. And so yeah, I don't really know how he's gonna prepare for my Bandit Azu. And then there's Shinjino. I could see coming, I guess, but um, Sapsiper Azu definitely just shuts it down, as well as Skarmory. So I don't know. Dusclops, I could see it coming as another way to deal with Azu, I think. But of course, it's very weak to Mega Houndoom, so I don't know. Um, Levany, I could see him bringing webs. I definitely could. But I don't know. Like the team I built doesn't really mind webs. Murkrow, I don't know. Like my initial plan was to build stall. So if he kind of tries to prepare for stall, he might bring some kind of a stall breaking Murkrow, definitely. And Jolteon, which I'm sure he will bring because it outspeeds everything in my team. It checks a lot of things. I have quite a few mons weak to electric type attacks, and he might also carry either Shadow Ball or Signal Beam to hit my Psychic and Grass type mons, or even both of those moves. So I'm definitely expecting Jolteon. So into my team, and okay, I have apparently Rotom here first, but I have Mew, Azumarill, Skarmory, the Duck Trio, Frogolgi, and Rotom. So basically 5 mons that I have had last week I have now as well. Only Braviary is switched to Rotom. So as I said, my initial plan was to bring Stall because I have quite a few ways to. I mean, I have solid ways to deal with his biggest wall breakers and then just storm him out. But the fact that my team is a little bit weak to electric makes it so that I actually wanted to bring a little bit more offense there, mainly by switching my Azu. So let's start actually with my Mew. So this is a setup Mew that can just hopefully set up against Registeel or Dusclops or something like that. Obviously only after the Clefable is gone. I can't set up alongside Clefable with this Mew. I have used Heal Bell to support Mew itself and also the entire team, so I really like that. Calm Mind and Dark Pulse I feel is the best overall coverage move. It hits pretty much everything except for the Azumarill. It doesn't hit Infernape either, but as I said, I'm not really expecting Infernape to come. And also one reason I don't expect is because I brought an offensive Mew last week, so Infernape has a psychic weakness, but we'll see. My stats, basically, the idea with my stats is that with the special defense investment, when I'm full, I can take a Shadow Ball from Modest, Life Orb, Mesprit. I can Calm Mind, take another Shadow Ball, and Roost. And after Calm Mind, I can definitely to Shadow Balls. And I know it's very risky, but I really just wanted to have this as some kind of a backup plan because I'm a bit weak to that Mesprit, especially if it's offensive. So I want to have that there as a backup. And rest in defense because I get more special defense like Calm Mind up. My next one is my Azumarill, the huge fat, and I was, as I said, I was initially planning on bringing Stall, so I was bringing a Stall Azumarill, but then I realized, thanks to Patrick, who observed, made the observation that Bandit Azu puts a lot of pressure on Albrey's team, so I decided to bring a Choice Bandit Azumarill with superpower over knockoff because really, I took KO Mesprit with Waterfall. I'm pretty sure I took KO Dustclops with Waterfall, so I don't really have any reason to bring a knockoff in that sense because Superpower is far more important against that Registeel, especially as I'm not bringing coverage for it with my Dragalge, as you will see. And I have speed to basically outspeed Mega Blastoise even with a few EVs to speed creeps. So I hope he's not investing too much speed into his Blastoise, so I can outspeed it with my Azumarill. Of course, he might outspeed an adamant Azumarill. I have to hope he doesn't. Um, Next up, I have my Skarmory. This was a pretty hard set to decide because honestly, Whirlwind would have been so nice, but I really need Stealth Rock, I need Defog, I need Roost, and I need Brave Bird to attack the possible Scolipede. I don't really need Iron Head for Cure and B because I won't 1v1 that anyway, like there's no way I can do that. And Brave Bird does damage against, I guess Levany, and both Iron Head and Brave Bird are not very effective against Jolteon anyway. I have another Monster with Clefable, so I don't need Iron Head for that either. Plus it could have fire coverage anyway. So the idea with my set here is, HP, max HP, then defense. Basically, I don't need much more defense because if I have more investment, it doesn't make that much difference that I should really have that number there, and it is much better to invest in special defense because that helps me to take those special hits much easier. This helps me much more to have those special defensive investments there. And actually, I could just for fun do this because if I just put 12 speed EVs every week, that makes me kind of vulnerable to be prepared for. So if I just change the EV number that I have here to prevent speed creeps, that will make me much more harder to prepare for or prepare against. So I guess I'm just gonna put 24 EVs there in case someone tries to speed creep my speed creep. Next up I have Dugtrio, my potatoes, and Dugtrio's job is basically his main job is to 1v1 the Current Black, and for that to happen I really need to have the rocks outside. Rocks away from my side basically. Because with this set, if I'm in full health against a full health Current B, and I don't know its item, what I can do is I can fire off EQ. No, I can fire off a reversal. Because if he's Scarf, he will bring me down to the sash. I can fire off a reversal, either kill it or bring it to the range where Sucker Punch will KO. If he is sub variant, I can fire off a reversal. He goes for sub. After I can go for Earthquake, break the sub as he brings me down to the sash, and I can reversal. And from there it is a KO. And if he just goes for an attacking move and is not Scarf, I can just reversal. He attacks me and I reversal back. And I'm pretty sure that's also certain KO, but I have a Sucker Punch in the back to just finish the Curum off. Other things I can do with the Duck Trio, I can, if I know Jolteon is choice and it's used an electric type move, I can revenge kill it. I can't actually revenge kill Infernape, unfortunately. I haven't made the calc yet how much does 1 HP reversal do to Registeel, but I can possibly check Registeel with this mon. And yeah, that's pretty much all, I guess. But its main purpose is to check the Curum B. Next up I have the Dragalge with yeah, this is I love this set. Black Sludge with adaptability and T-Spikes, Dragon Pulse, Sludge Bomb and Venoshock. So I'm definitely gonna bring Toxic Spikes because I feel that he's not gonna bring the Scolipede. So I think having the Toxic Spikes is very good to add some pressure, especially on Mega Blastoise, Clefable, and Jolteon. And yes, Clefable, even if it is Magic card, I don't know if he is. He could have some kind of an unaware Clefable to try to kill with Mazu as well, I guess. But Clefable honestly is not that bulky, even though everyone thinks it is, but it's not. Like Clefable is very hard to use as a dedicated fall, especially in draft format. So what's the idea is here? I have coverage for everything except for the Registeel. And the idea is that if Clefable is a setup variant, I have Sludge Bomb in case I haven't got the Toxic Spikes up, so that I can try to get the poison a little bit easier with a Sludge Bomb, and then just fire off a huge hit with Venoshock. I believe from +2 special defense on Clefable, it's still a solid 2-hit KO. The Venoshock, I mean. So this set should check the Clefable. It also checks Jolteon. This mon is a very nice switching for Jolteon, even without any investment in special defense. I have enough speed to outspeed Clefable, and I believe I can. I have also speed to speed creep it. I mean to speed creep the speed creep, and rest in HP. Also, by the way, one thing about my Duck Trio set, because I'm reversal set, I don't really need any defensive investment. So I'm actually having max speed, just in case the Jolteon tries. I mean, he tries to speed a bit too greedy with the Jolteon. He doesn't speed creep the max speed Duck Trio, but he's expecting a speed creep from me. I mean, with the Duck Trio, you should never do that, but I can, like, I have no reason to not have max speed, because I don't need. You don't run any defense with reversal sets usually. I don't have to have 0 IVs on defense or special defense, because the Ice Beam is a one-shot anyway from the Curum. So that's kind of a mid way there to have no investment, but no 0 IVs either. So yeah. And yeah, that was my Dragalge set, and then I have my Rotom making first appearance. Choice Scarf, Volt Switch, Hex, Discharge, Trick. The main purpose of this is to check Mega Blastoise. It can also trick. I mean, I'm fine pretty much with tricking anything, maybe except for Infernape. But definitely Murkrow is nice to trick. Registeel is nice to trick. But even things like Mesprit, Jolteon, Curum Black is nice to trick, because then I at least know what their item is, and that will help me a lot. I mean, in a later game. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This was a pretty long team analysis here, but mean, I just go through the moves really quick. So Volt Switch for initiative, Hex, and Discharge. You know, I have these bugs, I have Discharge, so I think Hex is pretty nice to have there to just have that little bit more power. I will in most cases have that boost there, so that's nice. Rotom definitely there for to spin block as well, of course. And I'm not sure what the speed is for. I think it's for Jolteon. I really hope I have enough speed there, to be honest. I'm pretty sure I have, but yeah, that's I will outspeed a Jolteon with the speed investment I have with Scarf, of course. Obviously, I have to be careful with the Jolteon with this set because I can't touch it without. I mean, with my electric type moves. So that's that. But you know, that's all for my team analysis, and next will be the battle. Yeah, so here's the battle, and as you can see, Albrey already in the team preview kinda catches me off guard, as he brings hyper offense. This is not a problem necessarily, but he has Infernape, he has the Scolipede, which I didn't really prepare for that much, especially Scolipede is annoying because I can't get off my T-Spikes as effectively. However, I decided to lead off with Azumarill because I can basically just get a nice chunk of damage to anything. If he leads with Jolteon, I can just switch straight into Dragalge. If he leads off with Scoly, I can just switch straight into, I believe, Skarmory. And if he leads with Kyurem, I can see what I do. So he leads off actually with Infernape, and I know that Infernape will die to one Aqua Jet, so I have no reason to not go for Aqua Jet. It turns out he's a Sash Ape. As he goes for U-turn, so he doesn't even get anything too crucial there. And he brings in the Kyurem, and I don't want to take the risk. I don't want to switch straight into Dugtrio, so I switch into Mew, which is kind of a mid play. As he goes for Fusion Bolt, revealing Life Orb, and I make pretty much my only mistake of this game, as I switch back into also predicting the Ice Beam. My play should have been to go straight into Dugtrio. I would have lived on my Sash, I could have killed with Reversal. I go for Ice Beam as I take a lot of damage I shouldn't have taken. I switch into Dugtrio now because I realized that I should have done that earlier. He goes into Mesprit, and what I do as I bring my Dugtrio in on it, I believe I switch into my Mew. I switch into my Mew. Kinda just scout what it does as it goes for U-turn. Not too strong U-turn there. And brings in the Blastoise, and what I have to do basically is to switch into my Arzu, trying to take the Dark Pulse, and hope that he's not speed invested, and just fire off a big flare off to weaken him. However, what happens, as you'll see in a minute, he gets up the Dark Pulse. He does not outspeed me, but I miss a flare off, so I lose Azumarill, and it doesn't get any damage off on the Blastoise. Right now I bring in my Rotom, and I really thought about this play because I was like, I could make a double into Dugtrio to kinda expect the Jolteon in, but I think that I'm pretty safe going with Volt Switch because I can just switch into my Dragalge. But he does make the Jolteon switch, and I might switch into my Dragalge as he makes a prediction there, pretty solid prediction on SPIs. As I'm just gonna fire off a Dragon Pulse. It is not gonna do too much to the Mesprit as it comes in. and I believe I switched back into my Mew because I know I have recover on the back, and I really don't have anything else to switch in pretty much. So he reveals that he's a screens Mew, so I decided to switch straight into Skarmory to just get rid of the screens because I don't want to deal with them at all. So I switch in Skarmory, and he sets up Reflect, and I go for Defog as he goes for U-turn, and I believe he brings in his Blastoise, and I think I'm just gonna set up rocks because I will pressure Scully a lot, and Kyurem, and also Infernape. He goes for Scald, gets burn, obviously, and I get up my rocks, and right now I could make a switch into Dragalge or Rotom expecting Scald, but I can't take that risk because he can go for Dark Pulse as he does. So I have to sack Skarmory, which is unfortunate because it would have been nice to be able to maybe set up rocks or defog later on in this game. However, now I'm bringing my Rotom, make that expect a double, but you know, it just goes for Dark Pulse. I think it was his better play, but I was so much in the back foot that I just simply had to make a read there, and it didn't work out for me. So I go for reversal, try to do some damage, doesn't work out. He even gets a spin off, which sucks. And what I have to do now is just try to set up with my Mew. Like, I have no other things I can do. Like, my Rotom has Hex of a Shadow Ball, which it was a huge misprep from my part. Had I had Shadow Ball, I could have gone into Rotom and just fight off Shadow Balls, knowing it will do a lot more damage to Blastoise and to Jolteon than Hex does. So, kind of a misprep there from me, as I just set up a Calm Mind. I will be able to leave Dark Pulse after Calm Mind, so that's nice. But he just switched into the Scolipede, and I just decided I tried to roost up until he misses the Mega Horn, because I know I think it will do a lot less, and it actually does. As he goes for one more Protect, but it turns out that it's almost a KO. The Mega Horn, and I just go for Roost, but there's no way I can beat this thing anymore with Mew. So I think I'm just gonna hope that he misses a Mega Horn, and no, I actually switch out. Yeah, okay, this is what I do. I switch into my Rotom as he goes for Mega Horn, doesn't do much, and at this point I just I half expect him to have Baton Pass, because having a purely offensive Scully doesn't really make a lot of sense against me because of Skarmory. So I actually go for Trick to kind of try to cripple his last his sweeper a little. So that means that the Kyurem is locked into Ice Beam without the Life Orb boost, which is nice. I can still kinda try to set up with Mew, but he gets a freeze, and I can't even whittle down the differential here anymore. So I mean that sucks. That sucks. But like, this was a very weird game, because I made one mistake in play, one mistake in prep, I think, and that cost me a game. Of course, there was so much hacks that, you know, had I hit that that play rough, Blastoise would have been so much more pressured. I could have gone for Hex with my Rotom, perhaps. Play rough would have done around 70% if I'm correct. So that was a crazy battle. Not in the sense that battles usually are crazy, but just, you know, it was so hacksy and so one-sidedly hacksy that it's not even funny. But I mean, I wasn't too salty because, as I said, I won't mind too much if I lose my 2 first games, simply because I know that my future matchups will be a lot better for me. Not that this was a horrible matchup either. Like, I knew that Azu would do a lot, and it would have done had I not missed the play rough. So, I mean, I definitely learned a lot myself as well, especially to use the duck trio, how to use the duck trio, because that me not switching into duck trio in front of that Kuram was nothing more than just inexperience from my part. Like, I'm not that experienced in this format as a lot of people think. I had before Fella, I had like 4 matches played in league format. But yeah, actually, what I would like to talk very quickly is also that I made 2 free agent trades. First of all, I wanted to switch out my Hitmonlee because uh, I just didn't think that Hitmonlee is strong enough as a UU mon, and I won't be using it as a spinner that much anyway. So I actually I was thinking about this mon during the draft already. So I just decided to go for it after all. So I picked Cloyster over Hitmonlee because actually their roles in the team are surprisingly different. I mean, surprisingly similar, because both of them is kind of a strong sweeper, fast sweeper after the setup, and Cloyster is just stronger, even though it doesn't have as good of a move pool as Hitmonlee has. Both of them have priority. Cloyster, of course, has that ice shot. Hitmonlee has Mach Punch and Fake Out, and I believe Bullet Punch as well. And Cloyster obviously also gets hazards. It gets spin. It has very good physical defense. So there are a lot of things with Cloyster as well. it gives me a double fire water grass core. I believe is how to say it. Fire water grass. So I have basically 2 fire water grass cores. And my other trade doesn't change it because I changed Executor over Maractus. So the thing with Maractus, now that I have Cloyster, I don't need another Spike Setter because I have 2 Spike Setters in Cloyster and Skarmory, so I don't need 3rd one. And I got Executor because it has better attack, better special attack. A quite nice move pool. It also provides me some support or utility options such as Wish, which I don't have already, which is very nice, and Trick Room, which is I have some possibilities with my team to use Trick Room, especially Azumarill and Dragalge will enjoy being under Trick Room. But yeah, I think that's all for today. So thanks for watching. Hope you managed to watch that pretty unfortunate match, but next week we are going to play Vade, so keep looking forward to that. Until next time, this is Type signing out. Bye.